We have Brendan Labelle, races some legend cars locally. Young kid coming up, just had a good win. And I'm very excited to talk with him. Brendan, you here with us?
Yep, I'm here.
Awesome. Glad to have you on the show today. First thing I want to say, normally what Miles asks every guest that comes on, how did you get into racing? What was the bug that you caught to get to where you are today?
Yeah, probably back in like 2013 or something like that. My dad just brought me down to like a quarter midget racing. It's just down a little T Speedway, and we watched some quarter midget racing and stuff like that. And a couple weeks later, needless to say, I was in a car testing one, and then pretty much from there we bought a car and just trying to do our own and getting used to it and things. And back down there, a little T Andrew Mullet also used to race, and I had my eyes on that car and kept on begging my dad to get that car, and we finally got it. So we finally raced Andrew Mullet's car down there, and raced probably till like 2018 all the way down there. Had a lot of fun. Just weekends down there with a bunch of people. We did a lot of cool stuff with quarter midgets also. Like we went down to Indianapolis, and like went around the track, the big track with the quarter midgets, and got to kiss the brakes. It's all cool stuff we got to do, and just pretty much how I got into racing.
That's awesome. I would say, are the legend cars your main vehicle now that you race?
Yeah, right now that is.
And I was looking at your YouTube channel, which I love, by the way. I love the in-car view and just the experience that you have inside the car we get to enjoy in our chairs at home. Were you just at White Mountain Motorsports Park that you got a win at?
Yeah, that was my first time ever being there on Saturday.
That was awesome. The finish was fantastic. If you can, to the best of your ability, walk us through that last lap pass for the win.
Just early on in the race, we were leading it and just got caught up with the last car and just trying to rebound, and finally got a caution, restacked the field up together. I restarted third, and I knew Josh was fast in front of me. I followed him through, tried to ride out a couple laps, like last two laps, try to set up a pass, and just really fun racing with Josh. Me and him always race really good together, and had a good finish.
I mean, I saw you rip in the bottom on that racetrack. It felt like you were probably a half a groove lower than everyone else. Were you finding grip on the apron the best you could to try to make those passes on the inside?
The car just felt really good. We hit the setup that night, and just really couldn't thank my dad enough for getting the setup right. And just the car felt really good there. A lot of grip on the track, and had a lot of fun.
That's awesome. And now, outside of Wiscasset, where else are you racing locally? I see a lot of Seekonk videos. Anywhere else?
Mostly raced at Seekonk. We try to do Travel Series NELCAR tour up north and things. We've been struggling a couple times somewhat in the tour race, but finally got down pat White Mountain, got it done. And as everyone's seen at Seekonk, we've been doing pretty good, and it's pretty much the two places I've been running.
So, Brendan, tell us a little bit about yourself. How old you are, what you're doing, school, work, whatever, what you're doing, hobbies, stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm 15 years old. I'm in a trade school, and I'm in a trade school, which is like shops and things. They'll send me up for like outside of school. I'm in electrical.
Where do you go down? Old Colony? Was it Southeastern?
It's Bristol Plymouth.
Yeah, Bristol Plymouth. Yep.
I'm in electrical there. I do cross country for a sport down there. I have a bunch of hobbies I love to do outside of racing, like fishing, hunting, and things. Just fun stuff like that.
So I got another question for you too. So a couple years ago, you were running that. It was the '88 car, right? It had orange letters on it, numbers on it. That was you down at Seekonk, and now you're running this 4 car, right?
No, I wasn't. I was not running the '88 car.
Oh, all right. You were always in that 4 car?
Yep.
Interesting. I'm confused then because I thought you were in that other car, but I go down and watch you, and you like to run on that top line, and you do pretty good down there running that top line.
Yeah, that Seekonk does a top line. Beginning of the year with a new pavement, it didn't really come into like later in the season. The bottom is where to be on the beginning of the season, but now it looks like the top lane team you preferred. You really roll a top, and just better than being on the bottom and stuck. You can actually move around. It's like a 2-lane track. It's fun.
It looks a little rough though in those legend cars.
With the new pavement, it's a lot smoother than the old pavement. But in 1 and 2, there is a little bump there, but it's a lot smoother though than last year.
As a young kid, I guarantee that iRacing is a part of your repertoire. Do you utilize the online racing and all that?
Oh yeah, I have many hours on iRacing. It honestly helps with learning new tracks, like with the new traveling series we're doing. It helps trying to learn the new tracks and just getting no braking points and feel of the car and trying different setup stuff, and just helps a lot.
Does the at-home wheel have force feedback for you so you can kind of get a real feel?
Yep, it tries to get a real feel, but yeah, it has force feedback.
One thing I noticed on every single YouTube video is that you have a quote on your dashboard. What's the meaning behind it? Explain to the viewers what it says on your dashboard, and if there's anything special behind it, I'd love to know.
Yeah, my grandpa was a really big part of me racing, and my dad. And every time, right before I used to go on the track, he's like, "Pedal to the metal," is our little saying, just flat out and go. And when he passed, I decided to put down on my dash with a little quote, try to keep him in my mind while racing, and just bring him along with a ride.
Absolutely. That's a wonderful thing. Before we wrap up the interview at all, I would love to know the people that help you day in, day out at the racetrack, whether it be team members, family members, anybody that deserves a shout-out in your eyes.
Oh, yeah, I really cannot thank my mom and dad enough, especially my dad. I really wouldn't be here without him. Me and him are out there every night working on the cars and this thing super fast. Can't thank my sister for supporting me, all my family for coming out to my races sometimes and supporting me. Can't thank all my sponsors behind me. It is Cannonball Maine, Cornwall Tools, Santillas Recycling down in Mass, and Greyhound Liquors, J. Andrews Trucking, who's been behind me all these years with me, Jam Kreitz Roofing, Northeast Race Cars. If you ever modify a late model, go down there, get the best setup you can, and just all my sponsors behind me. Can't thank them enough. And the Side Draft Podcast. They're the best podcast in New England.
What's the name of it?
Side Draft Podcast.
Side Draft Podcast. I'll have to check that out on my way home. Before we let you go, also, I had one more thing. What's the next step for you? Or legend cars you enjoy being in for as long as you are, or for as long as you will be? Do you want to go up to the next level? What's racing in your eyes for the future?
Yeah, probably next year in our minds is we want to try to get like a championship. Never have gotten an overall point championship, so we're going to try to get a championship in a legend, and if possible, we dip our feet in a late model. Just try and maybe next couple seasons, maybe get a late model, hopefully, and just dig at that.
All right. Well, thank you, Brendan, for joining us. That was a great interview. I wish you luck for the rest of the season, whatever comes your way, and I hope you get another win. I'll be checking out your YouTube. Don't you worry.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for having me on tonight.
Yeah, of course. Have a good night now.
You too.